Okay, so FeeFee is actually not quite 6 months old when this was filmed. Here we're showing her progress report, and we have just started on the single T, putting together what she's been learning elsewhere: overs, casting, steadiness, holding the bumper. All this in the puppy video, traffic cop teaching fetch. Now it's very important to review the land fundamentals by Bill Hillman so that you can sequence a progression of positive and a solid foundation. We've gone through a 3-bumper fetch and some other things to get to this point. This is where we try to assimilate, put together all the things: line manners, your positioning, nose to toes. We send from the side and remotely, putting in the right and left backs. On some of the sits there on the remote coming back. Focus, focus, very important. FeeFee's been an outstanding student, exuberant, and smart. Bit of the fetch game in between, rewarder throughout all our training. Her first whistle stop on the T field. She wants to still go back, and at this point we'll let her, but we'll work on the focus and encourage the right back when she was looking over her left shoulder, her right shoulder, but that would still be our very good. When you stop a youngster, you wouldn't stop more than once every 3 or 4 or 5 times, even less on the beginnings of this. Now we added just a remote over, and you saw she needed a little help. She wanted to go back, which is what she's been trained to do, and so we got her stopped with the whistle and a little A, and we helped her. So we repeat that to clarify the over, and then we'll go back to the backs. We throw bumpers anytime, even with an older dog, but particularly in these young dogs, to keep focus, enthusiasm, and to help show where they may be needing to be sent to. Encourage her hold. That was a good session for FeeFee. Soon the whistle stops will be for the change of direction, which will be the overs. A girl. Next, not right away, but we move to do a wide drill from back to home plate, combining those two. This we're working on focus, steadiness, a lot of sit reinforcement. She is collar conditioned with the sit reinforcement and here reinforcement. Steadiness, focus on you, and marking. The wide drill is gets the dogs to mark a spot and encourages tight hunts. She wants me to throw. I have to encourage the kennel coming in. The word I use is kennel, and we eventually even will use a little collar conditioning on that. Kennel, Nick, kennel, Nick, kennel. She loves this game. Here's our flat throw to the other side of the trees. It bounced right off the screen, and she's having a little problem, but she's staying in that corridor pretty nice for a youngster. A dog this age you wouldn't even try to handle because you'd get whistle slips. You could help or throw, but she figured that out pretty nicely. And what we would do in a case like this, you'll see, is we'll repeat that mark. Mix up your cadence. Don't always send them at 3 seconds or 10 seconds. This is about focus and steadiness also. Nice. A lot of sit reinforcement. We're going to finish up with an in throw. Sit, sit. Almost in line with that angle back, which was a little tough for a puppy, but she did it. Nice little session working on steady, focus, and marking. This episode, or the section of her progress report, we're doing the back pile through the water, where we will be doing our single T in the water before teaching the swim by. Again, just like the land tee, you throw or go place. You'll see I threw some over the peninsula later, which is not a good thing for a young dog. We do side and remote backs. It's a great way to, after your land session, to sort of say, okay, now do the same thing in the water. Again, throwing them just to keep things in momentum up. The most proper way would be to walk out there and make sure, like, you put 4 to 6 that are all white and visible. But I was a little lazy and was throwing them, and they're my tripod wouldn't move with me. Imagine that. There she goes. Her first water whistle stop. Had to blow a second one and then toss her a bumper. The whistle stop, like we said, kind of indicates a change of direction, so that's why I was ready for the throw, and she came back nicely across the pond instead of even thinking of cheating. So that was her actual very first whistle stop in the water. We won't do that again today. We'll again work on the straight back. It's a definite progression, but it's a careful, slow progression. And she's only 6 months, but if you were doing your dog's own basics, it would have been a big asset to have the land and water fundamentals and be watching them before you get to these phases. So you can see and trust the progression and the sequence of the training. Throw one particularly because, as I said, I have some behind the, and so I purposely threw that one further so that she could see it and not have to think about where they were. Now she knows they're back there. This is this little star pupil is out of Argetta and Shadow, and this is the same way, except for Bill Hillman doing it, that Shadow was trained, and it builds a very powerful, compliant companion. You've seen some of her early water work, and we encourage that from the very beginning by swimming with her. But she is a serious water dog, like her dad and her mom. All right. There we go. Again, encouraging the hold, and now the fetch game. She's full of herself. Our last little segment will show the beginning of walkout marks, 2 stations. You've seen in some of our videos, and I know in Bill Hillman's, the drive around marks. I start this, we do, with these walkout marks. So we have a white station. You can actually see 2 stations there. We're just doing singles. In the older dogs, you might do double, triple, quads. And she'll probably be doing doubles here in the next month or less. So when you walk out, the whole time you see my hand, my sit signal, which is always accompanied with a low-level sit reinforcement nick with the collar. Again, this is about steadiness, focus, the discipline of what we're doing. And she goes across the road. Definitely, you always do a sit nick before you throw or holler. Again, as you walk back, continue to reinforce. We're not waiting or wanting a correction. We're wanting to induce and maintain this stability. Get back in position, nose to toes. Use what your language is. Might be, that's it, where's your mark, ready, but be consistent. Good job, little girl. Now we're moving our line a little bit for this other mark, which is a little further. She still knows there's a station over there also, but now we're getting her to focus on this station before we walk out. Once again, we walk out. Again, my tripod was not very cooperative of moving over. Sit nick, throw. Maintain steadiness. If you're really astute, or you'll see that she did lift up a little bit. So you sit nick, don't move till she's stable again. Get back into position. Sit, where's your mark? Whatever your cadence is. Again, be consistent. We do nose to toes, that's been in some videos. And whatever, again, your language is, be consistent starting now. Couldn't see that because of my tripod position, but it was a fairly difficult mark, and she did nice. What a great day and a great report for our Jetta Shadow Puppy. Keep an eye on Watermarks Celebration, aka FeeFee.